Hey everyone, my name is Lakesh, and today I'm gonna teach you the future perfect. Prior knowledge required. In order to learn the future perfect relatively easily and comfortably, it is important that you already know how to conjugate avoir and être in the future tense, and it is also important that you can conjugate regular and irregular verbs in the past tense with ease. If you know these two grammar concepts, the future perfect will be a straightforward tense to learn. However, if you don't know these two concepts, it's going to be difficult. So if you're not entirely comfortable with these two grammatical concepts, I highly urge you to stop this video right now, pause it, go find the relevant videos for these two grammar concepts, learn them, master them, and then come back, and then you'll be able to take down the future perfect quite comfortably. So when do we use the future perfect? The usage of the future perfect is actually quite similar to the pluperfect. And like the pluperfect, there's two different ways of explaining it. So it's describe an action that will happen before an action. So an example sentence is, when I go to school tomorrow, I will have already finished my homework. So let's get our timeline now. Both of these events are in the future. So when I go to school tomorrow, it will happen in the future. This event will also happen in the future, but it will happen before the event of going to school tomorrow. So that is when you use the future perfect. And when you translate that into French, quand je vais à l'école demain, j'aurai déjà fini mes devoirs. The alternate explanation, the English equivalent of the future perfect is you will have done something. I will have cooked. She will have done her homework. I will have eaten. She will have driven here. You get the gist. It's essentially I will have plus something. Now we're just gonna quickly revise how to use the past tense, because the future perfect is very similar to the perfect tense. Let's say if we want to translate I ate. So I ate, that's obviously in the past, so we're going to use the past tense. The verb involved here is manger, which is the French verb to eat. So we need to conjugate manger in the past tense. Manger is a non-Mrs. Van de Tramp verb, so we're going to have to use the present of avoir. The pronoun here is je, so we're going to have to use the je form of the present of avoir, which is je. So that's the first half of the conjugation done. The second half of the conjugation is going to be the past participle of manger, the verb we're conjugating. Manger is a regular verb, and it's an ER verb. So we're going to chop off the ER and add an E accent. There you go. Voila. Do we need to add agreements? No, we don't, because it's not an extra verb. The future perfect. It's the exact same as the past tense, except instead of using the present of avoir être, you're using the future of avoir être. So let's translate this. I will have eaten. So as you see here, it's an action talking about I will have plus something, which means we're going to have to conjugate this in the future perfect. The verb involved in this is manger, which is the verb to eat. So we're going to have to conjugate the future perfect of manger. Manger isn't a Mrs. Van de Tramp verb, so we're going to have to use the future of avoir. The pronoun here is je, so we're going to have to use the je form of the future of avoir, which is j'aurai. So that's the first half of the conjugation done. The second half of the conjugation, we're going to have to form the past participle of the verb we're conjugating, which is manger. Manger is a regular verb, and it's an ER verb. So to form the past participle of manger, we're going to chop off the ER, and we're going to add an E accent on today. So voila. Do we need to add agreements? No, because it's not an extra verb, it's not Mrs. Van de Tramp verb. If you have paid close attention, what you've noticed is that conjugating a verb in the future perfect is the exact same as conjugating a verb in the perfect tense, except for the fact that you're using the future of avoir être instead of the present of avoir. So let's go through another example. She will have come. So here we're talking about will have plus something, so we're going to have to use the future perfect. The verb involved here is to come, which is venir, so we're going to have to conjugate venir in the future perfect. A venir is a Mrs. Van de Tramp verb, it's the V in Mrs. Van de Tramp. So we're going to have to conjugate the future of être. The pronoun here is she, which is elle in French. So we're going to have to conjugate the elle form of the future of être, which is elle serait. So that's the first half of the conjugation done. The second half of the conjugation is the past participle. Venir isn't regular, sadly, so we're going to have to use the irregular past participle for venir, which is venu, V-E-N-U. And then we ask ourselves, do we need to add agreements to that past participle? Yes, we do, because venir is a Mrs. Van de Tramp verb. It is an extra verb. The pronoun here is she, which means the pronoun is feminine, so we're going to have to add an E to the regular past participle. So well done, guys, for learning the future perfect. with me. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in your French studies.